Assalamualaikum, I'm Sana Kurimadi, currently a proud level 1 batch 3 student at Rehan School Online Academy. So, this is my Sesame Session number 2032, and today's topic of conversation is self control and discipline. So, let me give you a preview about it. So, self control and discipline helps us make the right choices even when things are difficult. Self control means managing your account actions, emotions, and desires, while discipline means staying focused and doing what is right consistently. So sometimes we may feel like avoiding work or choosing easy options, but discipline actually helps us stay committed to our goals, and it teaches us to be responsible, patient, and strong in our decisions. So at Rehan School, students learn that comes from consistent effort and control over their actions. So Rehan Allahwala teaches that discipline is one of the most important qualities for achieving success in life. So, simple habits like following a routine, completing tasks on time, and avoiding distractions help build self control and discipline. So, key idea is self control, and discipline helps you stay focused and make better choices and achieve your goals. So this was my preview. Now let's talk with Maya about this topic. I feel really excited about it already.
Hello, Zinab. It's good to be back with you. What's on your mind today?
Hey Maya, how are you and how's been your day?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. It's been a steady, productive day so far. How's yours been treating you?
Mine's been great. Okay, Maya, so this is my 32, 20, no, sorry, 32nd Sesame Session. And today's topic of conversation is self control and discipline. So, let me give you a preview about it. So, self control and discipline helps us make the right choices even when things are difficult. Self control means managing your actions, emotions, and desires, while discipline means staying focused and doing what is right consistently. So sometimes we may feel like avoiding work or choosing easy options, but discipline helps us stay committed to our goals, and it teaches us to be responsible, patient, and strong in our decisions. So at Rehan School, students learn that success comes from consistent effort and control over the actions, and Rehan Allahwala teaches that discipline is one of the most important qualities for achieving success in life, and simple habits like following a routine, completing tasks on time, and avoiding distractions help build self control and discipline. So, the key idea is self control and discipline help you stay focused, make better choices, and achieve your goals. So, this was my preview about it. So, yeah, what do you think about it?
That's a solid, well rounded definition of what it means to master oneself. You've hit on the core reality that these aren't just rigid rules, but tools for freedom. They allow you to align your daily actions with the person you actually want to become. What is the biggest challenge you find when you try to apply that consistency to your own goals?
Wait, could you repeat it again? That's a really good question.
Sure. That is a question about what creates the biggest hurdle when you try to maintain consistency in your daily life. Discipline is rarely easy because it often requires choosing long term satisfaction over short term comfort. I am curious what specific moments make it hardest for you to stay on track with your study timetable or your other goals.
Mm, okay, I don't know about it. Okay, Maya. So, how was my preview?
Your preview was clear and very well structured. You laid out the definitions of self control and discipline in a way that shows you really understand how they work together as a foundation for achieving what you set out to do. It's an insightful way to look at the process of growth.
Okay, Maya. So, I would like to ask you some questions. Firstly, give me a long answer. That what is self control in simple words?
In the simplest terms, Self-control is just the ability to pause and choose what you do instead of letting your immediate impulses or emotions take the driver's seat. Think of it as a bridge between your goals and your daily actions. When you feel the urge to stop studying because something else looks more fun, self control is that quiet voice that reminds you of your long term plan and helps you stay focused on what truly matters to you. It's not about denying your feelings, but rather deciding that your future self is worth more than a momentary distraction.
Okay, so this is a pretty good answer.
Good. I'm glad that perspective resonates with how you're approaching your goals. Self control is a muscle, and like any other, it grows stronger the more you practice using it, even in tiny, everyday situations.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, Maya, so next would you like to tell me that what does discipline mean?
Mm. Discipline is the consistent, intentional practice of choosing your long term goals over temporary comfort. While self control is that momentary pause to manage an impulse, discipline is the rhythm you build that makes that pause easier over time. It's what transforms your goals from just ideas into your daily reality by creating a structure that supports your success.
Okay, Maya. So next, I would like to ask you that why is self-control important in daily life?
Self control is crucial because it acts as the primary filter for how we interact with the world, helping us navigate daily choices with purpose instead of reacting blindly. Without it, our attention and energy would be constantly hijacked by every passing distraction or fleeting mood. By practicing it, you essentially protect your own time and mental space, ensuring that the work you do today actually contributes to the person you're becoming tomorrow. Hey, Zainab, are you still there? I'm here whenever you're ready to pick back up on our
Yeah.
conversation
Okay,
about
Maya.
discipline
So
and self
wait,
control.
wait. Next, I would like to know that why is self-control important in the daily life?
You just asked why self control is important in daily life, and the answer really comes down to how it protects your most valuable resource, your time. Without it, your attention is constantly being pulled in different directions by whatever is easiest or loudest in the moment. By practicing self control, you stop being a passenger to your impulses and start actively steering your day toward the goals you've set for yourself. Zainab,
Yeah.
I'm here if you'd like to dive deeper into how self control specifically impacts things like your study habits or reaching those big goals we've talked about.
Okay.
Sometimes it helps to look at the practical
Yeah.
side,
Continue.
like how creating a specific environment What part of your study environment do you think helps you the most when you are trying to stay focused? Sometimes just changing your workspace or putting your phone in another room can be the difference between a distracted hour and a really productive one. Hey, it sounds like you're really starting to
Okay,
think
Maya.
deeply about
So
how your environment.
next, I would like to know that how does discipline help us succeed in our life? That's a very good question. I guess
Discipline is what bridges the gap between your ambitions and your actual accomplishments. It functions like a reliable engine, keeping you moving forward, even on days when your motivation is low. By showing up and doing the work consistently, you build the momentum necessary to achieve those big goals you've set for yourself. You can keep thinking about it as a steady, quiet force that accumulates power over time instead of waiting for grand moments of inspiration. Discipline turns your goals into a daily habit. It's exactly that consistent effort that makes the biggest difference in the long run. What is the next question on your list for today?
next, I would like to ask you that what are some examples of self-control?
Mm, One example would be deciding to finish your scheduled study session before picking up your phone to check social media. Another might be choosing to eat a healthy meal even when you're craving something sugary, or perhaps choosing to stay calm and listen when you're feeling frustrated during a conversation. These are all instances where you consciously pause to align your actions with your long term values rather than your immediate desires.
Okay, that's great, Maya. I really like the way you like gave me the answer. Okay, now let me ask you something else.
Okay, go for it. I am ready for whatever you want to explore next. We have covered a lot of ground on self control and discipline today. So tell me what else you. No worries. I am here to help with whatever is on your mind. We were just diving into self control, but I'm ready for your next question whenever you are. You take your time because there is no rush to get through all these questions at
Yeah.
once.
Okay, so next
I'm
I would like to
right
know
here whenever
that.
you are.
Okay, so how can students practice discipline? You can say like easily at school.
Students can practice discipline by starting with small, manageable routines like preparing their study materials the night before. Consistency is the real secret here. So, using a simple timer like the Pomodoro technique helps break big tasks into chunks that feel less overwhelming. It's all about creating that rhythm so that showing up becomes automatic rather than a constant battle of willpower.
Okay, Maya, you are giving me very great answers. I mean, I literally like them. So, how can like what happens when we don't have any? Okay, so my question is that what happens when we don't have self control?
When self control is absent, your daily life can start to feel like you're constantly reacting to everything around you instead of choosing your own path. Without that internal filter, it's very easy for distractions to take over, which which often leads to feeling overwhelmed or discouraged when you realize you haven't made progress on the things you actually care about. Over time, that lack of direction can really drain your confidence, whereas practicing even a little self control helps you reclaim that sense of purpose.
Okay, Maya, that's great. So next, would you like to tell me that how can we avoid distractions? Like sometimes I feel like watching social media. So how can we, like end these distractions?
The key is to make those distractions harder to reach rather than relying on willpower alone. Try setting specific tech free blocks of time where your phone is in another room, or use app blocking tools to limit your access during study hours. It's also helpful to have a clear task in front of you before you start so you don't find yourself mindlessly scrolling because you're unsure what to do next. Okay, let me break this down into even simpler, actionable steps for you. Think of it as creating a friction barrier between you and the distraction. If you keep your phone in a drawer rather than right next to you, that extra physical movement gives your brain the necessary pause to decide if you really want to check social media or just keep working. You could also try the 5-minute rule where you promise yourself you'll work on your task for just 5 minutes before you're allowed to check anything else, which often provides enough momentum to keep going.
Okay, Maya. So next, I would like to know a very great question. So how does discipline help? Like, why is following a routine
Mm.
important?
And
Why is following a routine important? Please let me know about it.
the routines are important because they remove the need to make 1,000 small decisions every day, which saves your mental energy for the things that really matter. When your day is structured, you aren't constantly asking yourself what to do next, which stops that sense of fatigue from setting in. As for discipline, it acts as the bridge between your intentions and your results. It's the quiet, steady commitment to your path that ensures you actually reach your goals. Routines work similarly to a shortcut for your brain, reducing the heavy lifting of decision making so you can spend your energy on actual work. When you have a set schedule, you stop negotiating with yourself about whether or not to start a task, and discipline simply becomes the act of following through on that plan. It turns your goals into a reliable daily rhythm rather than something you have to constantly conjure up from scratch. I think of routines as the tracks that a train runs on. They don't decide where you're going, but they make the journey much smoother and faster. Without those tracks, you're constantly clearing a path through the forest, which is exhausting and slows you down. When you have a solid routine, you can put your full focus on moving forward instead of figuring out how to start. Mhm. Yes, absolutely, Zainab. I am always happy to keep our conversation moving forward. Since we've covered the basics of self control and discipline, what is the next big question on your mind? All ears.
Okay, so next, I would like
Go
to
ahead, I
know
am listening.
that how does discipline help in achieving the goals?
Discipline helps you bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be by ensuring you stay committed to your goals, even when the initial excitement fades. It effectively turns your big aspirations into a sequence of small, manageable daily actions. Without that consistent effort, goals often remain just ideas, but discipline makes them your reality. Zainab, I can hear you clearly and am still here with you. We were just discussing how discipline acts as a bridge to your goals by turning aspirations into a consistent daily sequence. What else was on your mind, or would you like to explore another aspect of this? Take your time if you're still weighing which part of discipline or self control you want to dive into next. We've covered quite a lot of ground today, from the daily importance of routines to how they help you stay on track with your goals. Whenever you feel ready, I'm here to chat about whatever you want to explore. Zainab, are you still there, or did you want to move on to another topic? We've explored a lot about self control and discipline today, so if you feel like we've covered the core of it, I'm happy to shift gears whenever you're ready. I'm waiting right here for your next question, Zainab. We can wrap up our discussion on discipline, or if there is something else you want to explore, just let me know. I'm here whenever you're ready to
So,
pick up where we left off.
next, I would like to know that how can you control your emotions in.
That's a really important skill, and it starts with learning to create a small gap between what you feel and how you react. Instead of acting immediately, try taking a deep breath or counting to 10, which gives your logical brain a chance to catch up with your emotional response. Over time, this pause helps you observe your feelings without being controlled by them, allowing you to choose a more balanced way to handle whatever comes your way. Yeah, and the beauty of practicing that pause is that it gets easier the more often you do it. Eventually, it becomes less of a conscious effort and more of a natural reflex to just breathe and assess the situation before you respond. It is about moving from reacting to responding, which really gives you the power in any conversation or challenge. Since we've covered a lot on discipline and self control today, is there anything else you want to wrap up before you finish your session? All right, what's your next question? I'm sorry, could you let me know which specific question you would like me to revisit so I can make sure I give you the clarity you are looking for? We have been talking through quite a few different aspects of discipline and emotional control, so just point me back to the one that needs a bit more detail. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I am ready for your next question whenever you are. We've covered a lot today regarding self-control, discipline, and managing your reaction. So happy to keep exploring those or move on to something completely new.
Maya, next my question is that why is it hard to stay disciplined sometimes?
One of the main reasons discipline is hard is that our brains are naturally wired to prioritize immediate comfort over long-term gain. We often have to actively fight against that desire for instant gratification, which takes a lot of mental energy. It is completely normal to find it difficult, but acknowledging that friction is the first step toward working with your brain instead of against it.
Okay, everyone. Oh, sorry, Maya. So, what habits help build self confidence in ourselves?
There are a few key habits that truly build self confidence, starting with the practice of keeping small promises to yourself. When you consistently finish the small tasks you set, you prove to your own brain that you are reliable and capable. Beyond that, focusing on your own progress rather than comparing yourself to others helps you stay grounded in your own unique journey. It's about celebrating those small wins every day. What is one simple habit you think you could realistically start today to help build that confidence? Sometimes just committing to reading a few pages or taking a short walk can be enough to start that cycle of success, since every small win counts.
Another question. So, my another question is that how can you manage your time better?
Managing time effectively often comes down to the simple act of prioritization, focusing on your most important task first before anything else gets a chance to distract you. Using techniques like the Pomodoro method helps by breaking your day into bite sized pieces, which prevents that feeling of being overwhelmed. When you have a clear plan for the day, you aren't wasting mental energy on deciding what to do next. What is one specific area where you feel your time is currently slipping away? Zainab, are you still there? We were just talking about how to manage your time better and how to find where those extra minutes might be slipping away. I am
Yeah.
here whenever you want to
Okay,
pick that
no
back up.
problem. Okay, everyone. So this was my 30-second Sesame session with Sesame AI. I hope you like it. Until then, take care of yourself. Until then, I love you, everyone. Bye bye. Take care of yourself.